The clock struck midnight as I drove along a desolate stretch of highway, surrounded by dense woods that swallowed the feeble glow of my headlights. Rain tapped against the windshield like ghostly fingertips, and the wind whispered through the trees in haunting harmony. My knuckles turned white as I gripped the steering wheel, my tired eyes scanning the shadows that danced along the roadside. Miles passed without any sign of civilization, and anxiety crept into my mind like a lurking predator. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and every twist and turn of the road seemed to conceal a malevolent secret. Suddenly, out of the darkness, a figure emerged on the side of the road. A hitchhiker. Dressed in ragged clothes, their face hidden beneath a hood, they stood motionless, their thumb extended. A chill ran down my spine, but empathy prevailed over fear, and I slowed to a stop. The hitchhiker climbed into the back seat without uttering a word. A pungent odor filled the car, a mix of damp earth and something indefinably sinister. I hesitated but decided not to be judgmental. Perhaps this person simply had nowhere else to go. As the miles passed, an uneasy silence hung in the air. My headlights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced across the hitchhiker's obscured face. The radio emitted distorted static, as if the airwaves themselves were resisting our journey. Unable to bear the silence any longer, I mustered the courage to speak. "Where are you headed?" I asked, my voice shaky. The hitchhiker's response sent shivers down my spine. "To the place where shadows linger and the forgotten find solace." My grip on the steering wheel tightened. The woods outside seemed to close in, the trees looming like silent sentinels. I glanced at the rearview mirror, but the hitchhiker's features remained hidden in darkness. As we approached an ancient, rusted sign that read, "Abandoned Town Ahead," my heart raced. The hitchhiker directed me down a narrow, overgrown path. The headlights illuminated dilapidated buildings, their windows shattered, and weeds reclaiming the once paved streets. "Stop here," the hitchhiker whispered, their voice sending a shudder through my core. Reluctantly, I brought the car to a halt. The hitchhiker stepped out into the shadows, disappearing into the ghost town's depths. The car's engine sputtered and died, leaving me in darkness. Alone and surrounded by the echoes of a forgotten community, I felt a presence closing in. The wind whispered secrets, and the shadows seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Desperation seized me as I tried to restart the car, but it remained silent. In the rearview mirror, a figure emerged from the darkness, obscured by the same hooded silhouette. The hitchhikers stood at the edge of the forgotten town, their eyes glowing in otherworldly shade. As they approached, the air grew colder, and the rustling leaves seemed to mock my futile attempts to escape. The last thing I saw were those piercing eyes before the darkness swallowed me whole. The abandoned town returned to silence, the echoes of a nightmarish journey lingering in the shadows, waiting for the next unsuspecting traveler on the desolate highway. The night was ink black as I navigated my way down a winding road, surrounded by an ocean of trees that stood like sentinels in the shadows. The only companions on this desolate journey were the rhythmic hum of the engine and the soft patter of rain against the car roof. The air inside the vehicle felt heavy, as if it carried the weight of unseen eyes watching my every move. I glanced at the clock. It was well past midnight. My eyelids were heavy, and fatigue clung to my every thought. I questioned the wisdom of continuing my drive, but a sense of urgency pushed me forward, deeper into the heart of the night. Suddenly, the headlights caught something on the side of the road, a lone figure, cloaked in darkness, standing with an outstretched thumb. A hitchhiker. I hesitated, my foot hovering over the brake pedal, but a surge of sympathy overcame my apprehension, and I pulled over. The hitchhiker climbed into the passenger seat without a word. A hood concealed their face, casting it in a perpetual shroud. The air in the car grew thick with an indescribable tension as the road stretched out before us like an endless ribbon disappearing into the abyss. I attempted small talk, trying to pierce the veil of silence that enveloped us. "Where are you headed?" I asked, my voice barely audible over the ambient sounds of the rain. "To the place where the road whispers secrets," came the cryptic reply. Unease crawled up my spine, but I pressed on, guiding the car through the labyrinthine twist of the road. The hitchhiker remained silent, their gaze fixed on the impenetrable night outside. As we delved deeper into the darkness, the road seemed to come alive with haunting whispers. Faint voices murmured indistinct words that echoed through the car, sending shivers down my spine. I couldn't decipher the messages, but the hitchhiker seemed attuned to their eerie language, nodding in silent acknowledgement. A peculiar fog began to slither across the road, swirling in unnatural patterns. The whispering grew louder, more insistent, as if the very fabric of the night sought to communicate with us. Panic clawed at my chest, but there was no turning back. The hitchhiker's hooded gaze turned toward me, revealing a pair of luminescent eyes that seemed to hold ancient secrets. "You must choose," they intoned, their voice now a part of the chorus of whispers. "Choose?" I thought, my mind reeling. Before I could comprehend the gravity of the decision, two diverging paths appeared in the road, each disappearing into an impenetrable darkness. As the car slowed, I realized the choice was mine to make. The hitchhiker's eyes bore into mine, urging me to decide. The whispers reached a fevered pitch, filling the air with an otherworldly cacophony. With a racing heart, I made my choice, steering the car onto one of the mysterious paths. The whispers subsided, and the hitchhiker nodded in approval. The road ahead unfolded into an unknown realm, the whispers fading into the distance. The hitchhiker, now silent, stared ahead as if anticipating an arrival at a long-awaited destination. As the night swallowed us whole, I couldn't shake the feeling that the road I had chosen led to a place where the shadows held secrets too profound for the light of day. It was a moonless night, and the only illumination on the desolate highway came from my car's headlights, cutting through the darkness like a pair of feeble swords. The rain battered the windshield, creating a rhythmic drumming that seemed to echo the unease in my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone on this desolate stretch of road. As I rounded a bend, my eyes caught a glimpse of a figure standing on the roadside, their silhouette barely visible through the rain-soaked curtain. A hitchhiker. The sight sent a chill down my spine, but a mixture of compassion and curiosity led me to pull over. The hitchhiker, drenched and shivering, climbed into the back seat without a word. A tattered hood obscured their face, leaving me with a sense of disquiet. The air inside the car thickened as the road stretched ahead, disappearing into an impenetrable void. I tried to engage the hitchhiker in conversation, but my attempts were met with silence. The only sounds were the relentless raindrops on the roof and the muffled hum of the engine. The atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive, and I began to doubt the wisdom of my decision. As the minutes turned into miles, the hitchhiker's presence seemed to cast a shadow over the car. I stole glances at the rearview mirror, but the hooded figure remained a mystery. I reached a point where the road diverged and a decision loomed. Instinctively, I asked the hitchhiker for their destination. With a voice that seemed to materialize from the shadows, they uttered a single word: home. I chose the path that seemed to lead to the heart of the forest, where the trees leaned in like silent witnesses to an unfolding mystery. The rain intensified, creating a curtain that obscured the road ahead. The hitchhiker's silence deepened as if the very air held its breath. Abruptly, the car sputtered and died, leaving me in an eerie silence punctuated only by the rain. Panic set in as I attempted to restart the engine, but it remained stubbornly silent. The hitchhiker remained unfazed, their hooded gaze fixed on something unseen. As I opened the car door to inspect the engine, a whispering wind enveloped me, carrying fragmented voices that seemed to call my name. The forest around me came alive with unseen movements, and I felt the weight of unseen eyes upon me. When I turned back to the car, the hitchhiker was gone, vanished, leaving behind only the echoes of those haunting whispers. The rain persisted, washing away any trace of the enigmatic passenger. Alone on that forsaken road, I realized I had given a ride to a specter of the night. The rain continued to fall, erasing the mysteries of that eerie encounter, but the memory lingered, a ghostly imprint on the canvas of my mind.